Well, hey there, guys. I'm Axel the Beast, ZeldaNinja.net, and I've got to do my, sort of annual, not always, but sometimes annual, E3 predictions, E3 Zelda predictions, and this one's gonna be a bit brief because I don't have a big, long list this time, mainly because we don't have a lot to go on at this time, but mostly this is going to be about Zelda Wii U and Zelda 3DS and that kind of thing. All right, so the first one, well, the first ones are the previous ones that are still standing, you know. The first one actually is not one I did in a video, but I did it in one of my articles, is that I think that the next games on the Wii U and 3DS are going to be on, like, at the end of the timelines, the three timelines that they have set up now. I think that they establish those to kind of close everything, you know, shut everything, finish everything, you know, and conclude those timelines. So I think that the next game will definitely take place at the end of one of them, and then the other one probably at the end of a different one. I think that both games are going to be kind of like new beginnings in a way. I don't know if that means no Ganon or not. I think we'll still see Ganon around, depending on the timeline, though. And the other two are about art styles. I think the Wii U game's art style is going to be something like Twilight Princess meets Ocarina of Time 3D. The high, the high definition, realistic look, combined with a little bit more color than Twilight Princess had. Just because I don't think they're going to do the dull art style again. I mean, that is an art style. It doesn't go along exactly with being realistic. I don't think they're going to do that so soon, at least. I'm sure we'll see it at some point, but I don't think we'll see it right away. And I think the 3DS game is going to be pretty close to Ocarina of Time 3D's graphics, though I think it'll be different according to a different art style, but the same basic graphical type. And actually, the one thing is with the 3DS game, I think that there is some possibility that Zelda 3DS will, instead of being like an Ocarina of Time 3D type Zelda experience, I think it's possible that we will actually see a new 2D Zelda game, like an overhead sprite-based one, or at least an overhead three-dimensional one like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. I don't know if this is terribly likely, but it is a possibility, I want to say, because of some things Nintendo has been, like, hinting at. I don't know if that's what you'd call it. So there's a possibility it could be another 2D game, but that would be pretty weird, at least right away on the 3DS, when it's a 3D console, right? And there is some possibility we'll be seeing a Four Swords soon, I think. I'm not sure if it'll be on the 3DS. Probably more likely a Wii U thing, given how the Wii U works and how it's basically catered to that kind of thing. But I do think that we might see a Four Swords type thing pretty soon. And then there's Zelda Wii U. I actually think that Zelda Wii U is going to be a continuation of Skyward Sword's controls, because they've talked about how they just can't leave it alone after doing something like that. But they've had so many things in Skyward Sword that they didn't continue, and I think that's really weird because they had some really good controls, like for the swimming. I mean, I'm sure they're going to polish it and fix it up a bit, but I think we're going to essentially get the same thing, especially since the Wii U will be Wiimote compatible. And the final one is not related to either game specifically, but it does relate to Skyward Sword, is that I think Skyward Sword, despite its problems and the fact that it was intensely linear and closed in, I think it did have an improvement over, like, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, in the sense of the design of the areas, how it was basically more like in A Link to the Past, a dangerous area to trek through, and doing puzzles in the overworld and whatnot. And it also had improvements on the bosses. They were fun, and they were action fights for the most part, again, not completely puzzle-dominated like in the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And there's other ideas, too, like the second quest difficulty, things like that. I like to think that that's going to mark sort of an improved direction. They're going to start going in the direction where they're improving things in that way a little bit more, so I think we'll see that in Zelda Wii U, especially, maybe less likely in the Zelda 3DS, but I still think we might see it there. That's not to say that they're not going to be, that they're going to be exactly like Skyward Sword. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying better than Skyward Sword. But I do think that Zelda games are going to continue getting better. And this is something I kind of said previously with Skyward Sword, before Skyward Sword was even announced. And I think that game did do that, and I think it's going to keep getting better. Alright guys, that's all of my predictions for this time. Be sure to tell me what you think of them, or if you have your own, in the description, and I'll see you guys later.